brothers, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's welcome DJ Just Jay. How you doing, brother? Thank you so much for joining the panel, my guy. How you doing,
Oh,
man?
he back. I see him. Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
All
Hey,
right. All
hey,
right.
Can y'all hear me?
hey. Yeah, you and Chaos, man. Anytime y'all gotta leave, bro. Hey, go right on ahead, man. The fact of the matter is y'all took y'all time out to at least join this panel, brother, means a lot to me, man. Thank y'all so much, brother.
For sure, man. That's a humble introduction, my friend. I appreciate that.
Going on,
Oh man,
Jay?
always, brother. Always, brother. We fam over here, man. Hey, if y'all don't mind me asking, let me kind of backtrack a little bit and
Sure.
ask Jay this. Jay, the first segment, you saw the title, it was called "What is the definition of a coon?" I got the idea from Young Jay, which I see he's still on the panel now, but look like he about to be knocked out in a minute. So, so, so you know what I'm saying. In the subject, he brought it to my attention. We talked about it earlier. So the question is, what is the definition of a coon, and why do we as people use that as an attack towards somebody? You know, so if you can give your opinion on that, brother, man, please share your thoughts. Just backtrack a little bit, then we get back on topic.
Yeah, well, first thing I want to say is just Young Jay is just over there resting his eyes. He just got something in his eyes over there. He'll be all right. He just trying to kill that fly that's in his eyes. That's all. It's okay.
Right, right.
But to answer your question, as far as what is a coon and why do people use that as an attack against people, my answers are
Right.
real short and they're real direct. Number
Okay.
one, my understanding of what a coon is a person that does something in a stereotypical fashion to embarrass their race.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. Now, if you know, from my understanding of what a coon is, I would probably say correlates to the same thing. You know, I would say it's somebody that is intentionally, like with intent, trying to embarrass their own race. And I would say that's cooning as a whole because anybody can coon, in my opinion. That's not just
Right.
related to a black person doing something for the entertainment of white people. That's my opinion. Anybody can coon. Now, why do people call people coon? I believe it's because of any reason why anybody call anybody else a name. It's because they cannot intelligently debate somebody on points of facts as opposed to opinion. I believe that people, and I'll say it again, people will call people names because they cannot debate intelligently on points of fact as opposed
Thank
to
you.
opinions. And
Thank
you
you.
and what you
Thank
tend
Exactly.
to do is you tend to respond from an emotional place because you're hurt on an emotional level, or it's kind of that syndrome when when you see somebody above you, like the crabs in a barrel mentality, what you'll do is you'll pull that person down. It's easier to pull
I love
someone
that
down than it is
analogy.
to pull somebody up. It's a beautiful analogy because it works
It
in
is.
life, even as a figure of speech, but it works. So,
Right.
in my opinion, this is what people do. So, like I say, I mean, the whole deal with name calling, I'll do name calling simply just to throw jabs at you, but at the same time, a lot of times, if I'm going to have a conversation with regard to trying to bring facts, if I'm going to have a conversation with somebody and bring facts to the table or debate points, then name calling is not something that I do because there's a time and place for everything, and there's a time and place to call people out of their name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example, and some of the people in the chat room probably know what I'm talking about. There was a situation that happened recently, which I'm not going to be too detailed about it, where there was a person that came in that was lying about some things that he was doing in order to take
I
advantage
know
of.
who you talking about, bro. I know
I'm
you
not.
talking
I
about.
ain't,
You went
I ain't
off.
say,
You went
I ain't
off
say
there
no
now.
name. I'm not gonna say no name,
Right.
but I will say this: there was a time and a place to call that nigga a pussy. How about that? See what I'm saying? Because what?
I know who you talking about. We know who you talking about.
Because what I did was I brought all the facts to the table, and then after that, I'm just like, you know what? Not only are you not going to acknowledge a point that was true, you're going to talk around it and circle around it. But okay, so now you just now you're not wanting to debate what I brought to the table at all. So fuck you then at that point. When I start insulting you, that's the end of the conversation. That's my period at the end of the sentence.
How do we have a discussion? You can't debate, which is why I applauded. How we have a discussion, we debating, we arguing, and then because you losing, then all of a sudden I'm a nigger, I'm a coon, I'm a jackass, I'm a cracker. Wait, hold up. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, but let me answer that question for you. Number one, key point is the fact that they didn't have anything to bring to the table to debate what you were saying and why you were trying to accomplish what you were trying to accomplish by doing what? By calling you names when that person doesn't have any information to bring to the table. That's the epitome of what that is. You see what I'm saying?
And remember this. I don't know if you were here earlier. I understand. I understand totally. And guess what?
The definition that you gave when you're talking about pandering to a group, that's what we understand. And I think that's the distinction I was trying to make, is that's the traditional definition of what a coon is. And my opinion of what a coon is the fact that somebody that just embarrasses their own race, not necessarily to be pandering to another race. You see what I'm saying? So the definition that you gave is the traditional definition, which is still correct, because that's what we should understand what it should mean, as opposed to using it as an insult.
Right.
So it's like a watered down version of an Uncle Tom. Is that basically the premise?
Wait. Let me point something out to you. That's a great point, because that literally just validated what I just said. That's when you know you're putting the period at the end of the sentence. But let me tell you something that's so motherfucking funny that women do that's different. So this is how I'm always tie shit right back into women.
We're going to talk about them. We're not trying to do that. Hey, look, the chat room is full. I'm not trying. Hey, look, Jay, I'm not going there with you. Let me do that to us.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Hold on.
I need Chris to put a disclaimer out. The opinions of the guest is his own. It does not represent the opinions of the people in the panel.
There you go. The disclaimer is
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
Let me add the disclaimers out there. Let me go ahead and say what I got to say. Now, the way that ties back in, the women, when they perform these same insults, when they don't have a point to bring to the table, not only will they make that insult, but they'll continue the insults. Why? Because they want to use it to invalidate your point by throwing so much garbage on it that the good
so
stuff
much shade.
So much shade. So they will continue to insult and continue to insult, so that way it will actually invalidate anything that was good there.
The bigger the jackass you are. And so, no, I'm with you 100% on that. The thing is, do not say that about women when I'm standing next to you.
Hey, I got a little bit of a white person question.
When I'm standing next to you, do not say that shit. I'm not trying to have that.
Let me point something out about that same argument when you say it's not all. I'm going to tell you one thing that I've never gotten mad about. When I heard motherfuckers go out there and say, you know, men need to take care of their kids and pay their child support. And I'm like, you know what? I fucks with that. That might not have shit to do with me at all. Or when motherfuckers say men need to do better. Why? Because I know it doesn't affect me. It needs to hit who it needs to hit. You see what I'm saying?
Hit, right. Yeah.
So,
but I don't want. There's some people out there who need to be back.
Hold on a second. My whole thing is that's why I don't believe that you have to make a distinction when you make that statement, because it needs to hit people, period. Your shots need to hit the target. See what I'm saying? So
and the people who know they're not in that group, they understand they're not in that group. I got you.
If the shoe don't fit, it don't fit.
There you go.
I do have a question for Jay about his definition of cooning, though. Kind of a white people question, so forgive me ahead of time. So in your chaos. So in your definition of cooning, when you say when black people do something, or when anybody does something that is embarrassing to their race, I would say that not a lot of white people use the term against white people. I don't know how many people use it against black. I don't use the term.
They haven't used it for a very long time against black people.
But I'm curious
to know. Black people picked it up for some reason. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm curious to know what the black community would consider embarrassing to their race, I guess. What would warrant being called a coon, justifiably?
Okay, this is the thing. You can answer that in two different ways. Number one, we can answer it in a way of people that have a perception of what's embarrassing as opposed to what really should be embarrassing. Anything that is disparaging to your race or your people, your family, your friends, or anybody like that, I believe is embarrassing. Or you could look at it in a manner of what is generally considered to be embarrassing. Like I would say, somebody that I'll give you a perfect example. Like, because I actually know one of these ladies in particular. Y'all ever heard of Sweet Brown?
Yeah.
You ever heard?
Yeah. Anybody got time for that?
Ain't nobody got time.
Anybody got time for that?
You know the phrase.
Okay.
You've
I
heard
know that phrase.
Everybody knows the phrase. Guess what? I know her personally. Embarrassing.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, I've known. I don't want to say her real name, but I've known her since I was 16 years old. She is a cousin to this lady I used to work with back then. We all are still we pretty much like family. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've known them for so long. But anyway, that's a perfect example of getting on the TV and doing something that makes it look like your people are reverting to a much, what am I trying to say?
So living the stereotype, more or less?
Yes, there you go.
That's fair, I guess.
A living stereotype. Like that's just like if I got on TV with a bucket of chicken and watermelon and this show is good watermelon and chicken. You know what I'm saying? And people will be on there like, oh
my God, I'm too white for this.
Shit, are you serious? Like really? Like really? Because number one,
telling the truth.
Because number one, we understand what's proper action and what's not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to trying to be entertaining and be funny and then just go completely overboard. So as a whole, as society, once we come into understanding, we understand what's embarrassing and what's not based on what's proper and what's not, what's etiquette and what's not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anything that goes completely obscure of that line is what we consider to be cooning because of the fact that it's not even like you're being borderline. It's like you're intentionally going past that to accomplish whatever selfish thing that you're trying to accomplish, which we consider to be utterly ridiculous. So
like
that was
like the Shuck and Jive Watermelon song, for example.
That's where this whole thing comes from. So what we've done now is not only have we tried to do something noble by correcting our people and trying to get our people to represent us in a proper way, but we've now turned that good thing. I don't know how it is how we can take something bad and try to turn it into something good, and then take something that's good and fuck it up.
I don't get it either. I'm shocked to see that there's just, it seems like there's something going on, and they just can't quite get it together, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Look, Chris, I'm gonna tell you this. Always speak your mind. Yeah, please, always speak your mind with us, man. If you ever with Soto Nation, if you ever with us or whatever the case is, always speak your mind. Like say it.
Thank you. This form, my form,
we got thick skin over here.
Well, if you look at the gas mask, for example, the gas mask was invented by a black man. It was a revolutionary invention, right? So on one hand you've got that, and then on the other hand you have Black Lives Matter. And you're like, what the fuck? How did you guys fuck this up? How did that happen?
Oh my God, man! Look, Black Lives Matter is a piece of walking hypocrisy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, you can't say and put certain words in a phrase and it not coincide with what your mission objective is. Okay, so this is the thing: when you say Black Lives Matter, what do we know that means? That means we're gonna go out here and stand up against cops and say that cops shooting down 5 black men a year is so goddamn wrong that we need to let all hell loose so they can start this martial law bullshit, right?
Pause. Pause. No, pause. That's not what Black Lives Matters means.
That's
black.
what I've seen.
No.
Wait.
That's
Hold
what
on,
you've
hold on.
seen.
Let
What
me
does Black Lives Matter?
Wait. Hold on. Let me
I
finish
got
my
you.
point real quick. That's what I see. Now, when it comes to Black lives and preserving Black lives, you cannot ignore the fact when you have cities like Chicago and some of these other places where there is a high concentration of lost lives of Black people and ain't nobody standing up and fighting and saying shit about that. Nobody is coming up and marching about that shit. Nobody is coming up and trying to come up with ways to stop that shit. They're just like...
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I guess what I was saying is this.
Murders in Chicago. There's been
Here's
about
what I wanted
400
to
murders
say.
in Chicago, but it's only been about, what, 4 or 5 Black men shot by police, and we're supposed to riot about that shit?
No, I guess here's my... I get mad when people will listen to what you said, and they'll take a soundbite. Here's a black guy who says X, Y, Z. No, fuck what you heard. Black Lives Matter people movement. Anybody listening? I am for the movement if you're going to defend every black life wherever it is. Whatever it's going to.
You heard a little rant I just did about people dealing with the police. I don't know if you seen the link that is trending about.
I definitely heard your rant, but I did not see the video. But yeah, I definitely heard your rant. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm just a person. I believe in, if there doesn't have to be like I don't believe in any level of confusion at all. It doesn't matter whether this is a figure of authority or whether this is my neighbor. I don't want conflict, period, with anybody. So I'm in agreement with the fact that, if it doesn't have to be elevated or even de-escalation, because I used to actually work in customer service, so regardless of what's going on bad in somebody else's day, I always took it as my job to de-escalate the situation. I'm not going to cause de-escalation or add any more gas to the fire. So that's kind of my input on what you said.
But DJ just said he got to go shoulder, so let him say what he got to say, man, and shut this thing down. Go ahead, DJ.
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you to Chastity for inviting me. Also, thank you to Celine. She was in the chat earlier. Thank you to everybody in the chat. To my man Paul, Augustus, Young Jay. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat because those are the guys that are watching us. You see what I'm saying? That's everybody that's watching. Continue to keep supporting. That's a lot of support. I also want to say shout out to everybody that's on the panel right now, and to also pick back up on Chris's point a little bit earlier when it comes to having those conversations and questions he wants to ask and being able to say stuff like that. Like I say, man, I feel like at the end of the day, it has to become a human standard where we all have to be able to be honest with each other, ask questions, make statements, and be able to gather answers without people being offended. That's the way real men handle business. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So all, you have to understand that this whole racial divide and classification, all of this stuff did not come from us. This came from the government that we've hired. You understand? So we need to understand and look at each other as we have more alike than we do different. So let's have those open conversations, and that's why I don't get offended by much of anything. It's not because I'm around a lot of white people or because I'm around a lot of Mexican people. It's because I understand you have a question, I might have an answer for you. That's some human shit.
Exactly.
So like I said, man, the only thing that I want to say to end this whole thing is just like I say, everybody needs to realize that we need to come together because unified we will stand, divided we'll fall. Mark my motherfucking word.
Thank you.
Y'all better come together because shit is getting ignorant in the media. Y'all can see it. That's merely a picture of what could happen if we don't unify. So that's what I'm saying. Kill that bullshit. Let's come together. I fuck with everybody. Everybody. We good, baby. That's all I got to say.
Hey,
Also,
much love to you for
Turtles kicks ass.
Much love to you, man. Much
I am
love to you,
EK,
Jay.
and I approve this message.
Yeah, that's a kick-ass closeout, brother. Hey, love you for that, bro. Love you for that, man. You make sure you come to my next one, brother, for sure.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys so much for the invite, man. I definitely appreciate it.